Hello and welcome to the Jayco 212 QB. Coming to the front here, you have a light, just in case you need to hook up at night. And then right here, you have your retract and extend. Coming to the front of your propane here, of course, left is going to be turning on. And then right inside of here, it's going to be kind of hard to see. You have a little switch. They're able to flip over, and then that's going to be using the propane from this one, not this one. It all depends on which way you turn this. I'm gonna leave it there. And right behind here, you have your manual override. So if you pull this up, this little tab here, inside of here, if this ever electrically goes out, you are able to manually do it right here. Same goes for your awning. You have a little black tab right on the top there. If you pull that off, you are able to manually override that. Going over here to your sewer system, you're going to have your gray tank here, your black tank hole here, and then you also have your low point drains right up top here. So basically you have a black tank and a black tank flush, which I'll get to in just a second. That black tank flush is going to be right here, and that if you put a pressurized hose up to that, it turns on a sprinkler inside of the black tank, which helps get the rest of the toilet paper and the rest of the crud that might be stuck on the sides completely gone, so you're good to go. So I'd recommend doing the black tank, your black tank flush, and then go ahead and do your gray tank, because that's going to be the cleanest water when you want to put your hands on it. It's just a recommendation. City water. If you go to a campground, this is what you're going to hook up to. This is just going to be your campground water that helps push water through the lines. I would recommend getting a water pressure regulator, just because campgrounds are pushing for a lot of power and a lot of pressure. They're pushing for a lot of people, so it uses a lot of power and pressure. So I just would recommend getting one so it doesn't blow out your lines. Outside shower, you have a hot and cold nozzle along with your shower head down here. This green nozzle indicates that your tires are filled with nitrogen. You are able to fill it with regular air. It won't expand or deflate with temperature change. Power port here for your camp power. This is going to be a freshwater fill. So basically, if you're going out into the middle of nowhere and you need to take water with you, go ahead and fill this up. It's just a gravity fill. When you are out in the middle of nowhere and you need to push water through your system, I'll get to it in just a minute, but you're going to want to turn on your water pump, and that'll use this water right here. If you need to keep TV outside, here's a cable inside of the input. It's going to be your freshwater drain right there. So this is going to be your furnace exhaust. So this does get very hot. So if there's any little kids or anyone who doesn't know about this in the area, just make sure to let them know not to touch this. For your water heater, this is going to be called your Anode Rod. So this goes right into here. And that's going to be a 1 1/16 socket to tighten down and to loosen. So once that's tightened down, all the hard water that you put into this tank, let's say through a campground, the hard water will eat at that, your anode rod, instead of your actual tank. So this saves your tank. So this would deteriorate over time rather than your tank. To fill up, all you gotta do is turn on the hot side of your faucet. It'll sputter for a little bit, and that's just all the air getting pushed out of here. Once you have a steady flow of water, go ahead and turn on your water heater switch, which I'll get to in just a minute. Once you do that, then this will start to heat up, but only when you have a steady flow of water coming out of your faucet. Make sure all the air is out of here before you turn it on, otherwise it will damage your tank. To turn this off, or when it's off and you want to empty it because the water does get stagnant, go ahead and pull the pressure release. You'll hear this hiss out, and then go ahead and use your socket to pull this out. Water will start draining out of there, and you can go ahead and pull this for more pressure in the water to come out faster. So this is backup camera ready. So if you did purchase a backup camera, all you gotta do is unscrew those 4 little screws, pop that plate off, and go ahead and plug it in. So I extended your awning, which I'll reel in just a minute. But to pitch it for the rain, because it is kind of right now, just to show you, all you gotta do is pull down here, and then this side or the other side will end up pitching and all the water will leak off one side. And then it claims you can leave it down and run it in, but I just recommend pushing it back up. Once again, for TV outside, cable satellite right here. You have your 110 outlets. And then I'm gonna go to your stairs here. Make sure your door is completely open, because otherwise this little thing here will clip your edge of the door and it'll ruin it. So just make sure it's fully extended. This white tab, blue pull. Go ahead, pull that, pull your stairs out, you can let go, and then drop your steps. Make sure this is completely flush, otherwise it will rip this little furry part and the rubber seal off of your door if you don't do it correctly. Inside of here you have stuff for your stabilizer jacks, which is going to be this big one, and then this one should be for your lugs, I believe. And then you have yours drinking hose, your 110 adapter, and then you have your sewer hose down there as well, which is going to be that black tube. I do recommend getting an indestructible one. It's just going to last a lot longer and not break. The last thing you want is a break in your sewer hose so it gets all over your hands. Your awning, this left switch here, just going to be for your LED strip. And then this is going to be for your reel in. Real quick before I do reel it in, this is fully extended when the flap is down and you can start to see the metal tube. If you keep going, it'll reel in the opposite direction and ruin your awning. Fully closed. Alright, coming over to your button section here, this is going to be your inside lights. So all of your main ones here, which you are able to section off. Oh, there we go. I don't know why that took so long, but I gotta just press right in the middle. And you can kind of section off which ones you want on, which ones you want off. But right here, this is that water pump, so when you do fill up that fresh tank, if you take this in the middle of nowhere, this is what you're going to want to turn on, and this will help push that water through your system. You have a gas and electric element to your water heater. So if you want to have the hottest water, go ahead and turn both on, but once again, make sure your tank is filled, otherwise it'll ruin it. Battery, and everything reads on the tops there, fresh, black, and gray. If you do go to a full hookup campground, I'd recommend leaving it closed and not open, because the smells will end up arising, and of course that's one of the last things you want is black tank smell all up in your trailer. I would recommend just getting it to 2/3, so obviously it's empty now, but wait till it hits there and then go ahead and empty it, and then that'll be the best option that I'd recommend. For your keys here, these black ones are going to be for your doors, and then these silver ones are going to be for the baggage doors in your outside shower. Once again, your unit has been winterized, so you don't got to worry about that for this season. Microwave, fan. We'll go ahead and turn this off here in a minute, but all you got to do is click, and then go ahead and tap cold, furnace, and then off. You can also do the high fan as well. And then your temperature is going to be, of course, higher and lower for each one. There, I turned that off so you can hear me. But once again, I'll say it one more time. You can do a high fan, cool, furnace, and off. But it's only a tap. It's not like a push button. Before you come over to your stove here, lights on, and then go ahead, you just gotta do this, press in, turn, the gas will start going, and then you ignite to the right. I would recommend doing all 3 of these before you do light your oven, because your oven, that purges all the gas through the system, so your oven will light easier. But all you gotta do for your oven is just press, turn to that pie light symbol, and then once that, will be a little flame in the back of your oven that will turn on. After that, go ahead and just turn to your desired temperature. Once you see that little flame. Only turn this to the right. It has arrows on it to tell you, because if you turn to the left, it will snap off. Coming over to your radio here, all I gotta do is hold. I'll say welcome. Zone 1 is gonna be your inside. Zone 2 is gonna be your outside speakers. You can turn those on and off individually, or you have your Bluetooth, AM, FM, aux, and then you can click to mute both, or you can hold, stand by, and then it'll close or turn off. You got your TV there. You do have a little button on the top here. It's kind of hard to see because it's dark. It's going to be right next to that green light. That'll help choose between cable and satellite TV stations. For your couch, all you gotta do is lift up, pull, and now it's flat. So again, pull, then you kind of push in. It's just that easy. For winterizing, your heater and your pump are going to be right under here. So for your table here, I took it off. I'm just going to show you the best place to put it in when you're traveling. So I took it off, took the legs off, which go here and into your floor. All you gotta do is put the table on these little cleats, which I'll show you in just a second. And then all you gotta do is put these in some storage so they don't roll around. The reason I do recommend this is because if you're driving, this is gonna be wobbling around, and then these will end up warping, and it's just gonna be, these will end up breaking. So now I put the table down, put the side pieces down, and you can also turn this into a bed if you just put these into the sides here. And then there you go. So now that your bed's all done, put the table down, put the couch cushions back over, and then if you open up here, you can just put these underneath here. I mean, they're gonna be rolling around, but it's better than having them open or whatnot. Is that all? Inside your bathroom here, your toilet's just gonna be your regular old foot flush, so it's gonna be just like that. I do recommend having toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper. The toilet paper will help break down and it will help not clog your systems, so you'll have to buy a whole new sewer system because the clogging is the last thing you're gonna want. And the solution will help break down solids and smells. So once again, these are just, I would say, mandatory options just to help not screw up your sewer system. Solution help breaks down solids and smells, and the RV grade toilet paper that just helps break down easier so it doesn't clog your systems. All right, coming up to your fridge here, you hold, it'll beep to turn on. I'm going to be choosing the fridge portion, hence why that's the black part down here. You can go ahead and choose your 5 is going to be the coldest, 1 is going to be the warmest, but this is where you're going to choose that. For the freezer, obviously it's a highlighted portion. Go ahead and choose what you want that to be at. And then this little night mode, that basically just makes the beeps more quiet. Just in case you need to do that at night, it's called night mode. And then down here, you're gonna have a carbon monoxide detector. So I would recommend turning, or if you're gonna leave your trailer for about 3 to 4 days and not use it, go ahead and pull the negative end off of your battery, because this little green light never turns off as a safety feature. So this is always running no matter what until you unplug your battery. So that's just what I would recommend doing. There's this little green light. Since it always stays on, this will eventually kill your battery. For your fuses and breakers here. All right, everything in here is gonna be labeled as a house. All your breakers labeled here. And your fuses, I would recommend bringing extra fuses just in case. I'd rather be safe than sorry.